your team not having the puck much, and I just wonder what's standing out to you in that regard, that it's to such an extreme where your team, really doesn't have the puck all that much.
Well, last night was an extreme. There's no question. I'm not going to lump it in like you are again, and we can get in all the analytics, and I understand we're not a great puck possession team at times, but we've had some games here where it's been better. We've done a better job, and last night certainly wasn't one of them.
And when you do get the puck, I know when you have to defend a lot, the team can be tired, and it could be a quick turnover. Do you want to see better decision making when your team does get the puck?
We got to make a much more concerted effort in all three zones, and it does come down to our competitiveness at the puck. And we're watching it, we're showing it, trying to get a better understanding of what that looks like. To get the puck, you got to work your tail off to get it back. And it's not about defending. It's not about getting in the fetal position and defending. It's about being assertive and making sure you get it back. And you do things with a purpose. And every play matters, and your details matter. So it's not as simple as how do you keep the puck. There's so many layers to just that statement alone in all three zones that we don't have enough time to talk about it. But when you peel it back, a lot of it comes down to the individual one-on-one, being assertive, making sure that we're on our toes, aggressive, making contact. It's not running guys over, it's making sure that we're competitive at the puck. Because when you make teams and players make rush decisions, you do get it back. And in our good games, we do a very good job of that. We get the puck back, we hold on it, it snowballs the right way. You build confidence through that. So it's a long-winded answer, and there's so many things that go into to what you started originally stating, and it's not as simple as just holding on to it and getting open.
Understood. And just what lineup changes do you have in store tonight?
Bayreuther's going in, Kukan is out, Corpuscello will be taking the net, and you're going to have Bemstrom's drawn in for Texier.
And is there a quick update on Texier? Any more that you knew from last night?
Yeah, he's going to be out for a little bit here. As far as time frame, I'm not 100% sure. It was a hand issue, so we're still waiting to get the full results on that, but it's going to take some time.
Really? All right. Thank you very much, Brad.
Next, we'll go to Dave Metzel. Go ahead, Dave.
Thanks, Madison. Brad, I just want to ask you about Zach Werenski last night. He was pretty hard on himself in terms of the way he played, and I'm just wondering, as a coach, what that says to you when a player comes out and takes that kind of responsibility and accountability after a game like that.
Yeah, I haven't heard Zach's comments. It certainly wasn't one of his better games. He's not on an island on that, as we know. That's about as ugly as it gets as far as a total team effort. But it's good that he recognized it. He holds himself to a high standard. We know what Zach means to this team, and the amount of minutes he plays and how important he is. And I know he's trying to grow as a leader. And I think these are those moments. How do you impact the game? How do you assert yourself in the game, and not just on the score sheet, not just scoring a goal, not just getting your legs up the ice. It's showing that competitiveness. It might be blocking that shot and laying it down in a 4 or 5-0 game where your teammates see that you're committed to doing all the right things that it's going to take to win. And I think that's the next step for him. We know how talented he is, and I think in those moments, understanding how important is the details, those small plays, boxing out, taking 60, even on the goal. He's standing beside the guy, he doesn't touch a stick, the guy tips it in. So those little things, they matter for our group. They truly matter, and once we grasp that, we're a good hockey team. But if we let the foot off the gas a little bit or dial it back 10 or 15%, we become very, very average, and we can't afford to play at very average.
Brad, it sounds cliche here, but you do play right away again tonight. You got a team that's got a lot of firepower tonight. How much of an advantage might that be to get right back in it, knowing the way your team feels about the effort that they played with last night?
Well, I don't know about an advantage, but I know we should be better. I mean, New York Rangers are near the top of the league. So we know what we're in for. We've played them already a few times this year and know the firepower they have. They play a very simple game. They're very dangerous. They got good special teams. They have excellent goaltending. So there's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to hide. You have to go meet them head on, and you're going to have to battle for 60 full minutes, maybe more, and be competitive. And we'll see. We'll see where our guys are at.
Thanks, Brad.
Next, we'll go to Jody Shelley. Go ahead, Jody.
All right, thanks, Madison. Brad, the balance between practice right now and playing, like you got Jake Voracek, who had his first practice in 2 weeks this week. Does it feel like cram sessions in practice? I mean, it's kind of restricted, right?
It's been that way for several weeks, as we've talked about before, of just inserting guys, losing guys, some 4 or 5 guys out for 10 days, get back for 2 practices or in the lineup. But again, there's no excuses. I'm not sitting here. We're not the only team going through it. Every team has either gone through it or going through it at some degree or some level. So you got to do what you got to do with video, with trying to get the most out of practice. And I'll say this: they've practiced well. They're giving it, but it's that consistency in the NHL and how hard it is to win. It's something that we got to grasp, and we need to. Every detail is important. Every detail, and that's not playing tight. That's not playing without making mistakes, because we're going to make mistakes. I can live with mistakes, but the effort, the competitiveness, that's something that's required. I shouldn't be here coaching that. That should be something that's mandatory and that we embrace for the logo on our front of our jersey, and that's got to be more consistent for me.
I just thought, it's coaches want to practice, and I understand that's where you teach, but I just thought, there's got to be a level of frustration. But I hear what you're saying. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Brian Hedger. Go ahead, Hedge.
Brad, I'm just wondering, we're almost halfway through the season. A lot of hockey left, obviously. You guys, young staff, how big is the challenge for you guys as a coaching staff to help these guys and get that consistency that you're talking about on a night-to-night basis by the end of this thing?
There's nights like last night you sleep about 90 minutes if you're lucky, just because your mind's so busy. You're frustrated, you're disappointed, you're trying to figure things out. What could we do better? Young staff, old staff, doesn't matter. The challenge of coaching, and it really is, even in these moments when they suck, when it's tough. This is when you have to dig in. This is when there's a real true opportunity to try and help your team and impact your team and help them through a tough situation. And I'm going to try to do it the right way. As far as I never am here to embarrass anybody. I'm never here to show anybody up, talk down to anybody. It's about trying to help them and teach them and show them. We just did some pretty honest video, and it's to show them the why. Not, you leave a game like that and there's 62 shots and it's just a barrage and they leave going, well, what happened? Why? Well, that's our job now, is to show the why, try and help it and correct it, and then teach them. And we're a young group, and to me, you should relish that opportunity. It's not fun. There's no fun going through something like that, but there's a huge opportunity for growth, and we're going to keep working and keep pounding away at this and keep showing the importance of the details and that competitiveness and what it looks like, and through video and through practice, and we'll keep chipping away at it. I promise you that.
You and we talked about this when you were hired, last summer. You have a lot of good connections and networking in the coaching industry. Guys who've done this a long time as well. Is this a situation where you guys kind of have to hunker down yourselves and figure this out? Not just you guys as coaches, just the team is what I'm talking about, the coaches, the players, everybody. Or would it be beneficial to, reach out to some guys that some other coaches or whatever, and say, hey, what kind of stuff maybe worked with you?
Well, right now we hunkered down last night, and that's you lose sleep. You don't get as much sleep when you lose like that. But yeah, everything's on the table as far as nobody has an ego on our coaching staff. I can tell you that right now. It's not a pound your chest moment and blame game. It's far from that. We're trying to find answers, and we'll seek that out as we see fit. Our staff's committed to getting these guys better. I promise you that, and we're going to work tirelessly at it.